It is Wednesday. I'm feeling some type of way, obviously. It is Wednesday. You know what that means. It is when I come here just very casually and share a little bit about what's going on in my mind in hopes it'll support you in your growth and development. And my door is wide open. My dog is seeing me use my hands and beat on pretend drums, and I'm surprised he didn't bark. But this is transformational tidbits. That's also what I forgot to say. And I talk a lot in this community, obviously, and I hope it's a good thing, and I hope I'm always this kind of resource for anybody that needs it, and that's always my goal, whether you are somebody that is a client currently, has been a client, will be a client, or may never be a client. No matter where you fall on that scale in terms of being in this community, my goal is always to provide and be a resource. And I talk a whole heck of a lot about like the Society Book of Life, and I want to kind of just lay it out there what that means, because it's a definition that's really important to me, and it is something I think that we have all found ourselves guilty of doing, following this like preconceived idea of what life should look like, because we've been dictated to from a very young age. We've all been dictated to from the time we were very small and going through school and all of this stuff. It's almost been laid out for us. Like, you need to follow life this way. You need to follow life this way. And if you do these things, your life will be perfect, and you will have achieved perfectionism, and you will be so happy. And when I say Society Book of Life, I mean like the typical like go to kindergarten, go to school, get married, go to college, have kids, do all of the things. That is what I am talking about. This is like the path to happiness, and the path that society has made us all believe that is the key to true happiness, peace, and balance. You'll have to forgive my dog. He's barking, of course, because I'm live, and why wouldn't he bark when I'm live? And I'm sure you saw like the in me, but anyways, I want to just like ask you the question, when you're thinking about this and you're following this kind of like book of life or this rule book, and you're feeling unhappy and you're feeling dissatisfied and you're shaming yourself for feeling that way, and you're wondering why you're feeling this way, and you have no clue. You're like, I did all the things. I went to school. I got my doctorate. I paid all this money for school. I got my cubicle. I'm supposed to be happy. I got married. I got the white picket fence. Why am I so dissatisfied? Especially as a woman, because there's so much pressure, not only for us to follow the societal book of life, but also to adopt to these sky high expectations that have been laid out for women specifically. And I could rant on and on and on about that. But what my challenge to you is, and what I want you to think about, is who made these rules? When you're starting to feel dissatisfied, and then you're starting to feel shame or guilt for being dissatisfied, for not feeling this like elation or this blessed feeling, and you're starting to say, well, I should be grateful for what I have, or I should be happy for what I have, or I should feel differently. Like, I have all of the things. I follow the societal book of life. I should feel differently, but I don't. And I now feel guilty because I should have gratitude. And you're just shoulding yourself all over the place, right? First of all, don't should your pants. Second of all, understand that you're following a set of directions that were never made for you. Life is not cookie cutter. You are not cookie cutter. You are a unique individual. You do not have to fit yourself into a box. And just because society said that this is the key to happiness, does not mean that it is the key to happiness for you. It is the key to happiness maybe for some people. And if you followed that book of life and you feel extremely happy and extremely elated, I am so extremely happy for you, because it means you're following your own life path. But if you are dissatisfied and feeling shame and guilt about it, please know that it's because you were following a path that was not designed for you. And you have been sold this idea that if you just do all of these things and you achieve all these things, you will then achieve perfection. And that is the number one thing us as women are always trying to get after. We're always trying to get to perfection. We are all busy being perfectionists, to the point where we have now begun to see it as a strength. When people ask you what you're good at, you say, I'm a perfectionist. But being a perfectionist doesn't necessarily mean that you are strong. It means you are conditioned. Wanting to achieve excellence is one thing. And myself and my coach were having this conversation yesterday, perfectionism versus excellence. Wanting to be and achieve excellence is one thing, but wanting to be perfect is the result of conditioning from society that has said anything less than perfect is not lovable, it's not worthy. And so I ask you, who made these rules? And when you think about, as a woman, we need to be a certain size, look a certain way, focus on our weight loss, make sure we take up less space, talk but not too much, be successful but not too much, all of these things. I'd be hairless cats too, obviously. I don't know where that came from. Who made these rules? Because if you really think about that, then you start to see how silly it is that wait a minute, I'm adhering to these rules. I don't even know who created them or who made them. And I can tell you right now that so many of these rules are rooted deeply in patriarchy, deeply in, the rise of man. And like we all see, that men was the preferred gender, the preferred sex, that it was seen to be above women. And all of these things are a direct result of these patriarchal influences when, to be honest with you, much of our world's history were based on honoring the woman as she was. So if all of these things and all of these rules and all these dictations are being trickled down from patriarchal influence, we as women, it's up to us to stand together and say no more. It's up to us to say, I don't need to wear makeup. I don't need to lose weight. I am okay just as I am. I don't need to take up less space. And we're all hyper focused on making our body smaller. I just had a rant about this on Instagram. It's like, as a woman, our whole life has been committed to just losing weight. And when I thought about that, and I thought about how much time I had thought about losing weight, reducing my size, trying to be thinner, it made me sad. It made me want to hug myself and cry and just be like, I have spent, of my 42 years on this planet, more of those years worried about the size of my body and less years complimenting it and embracing it and wanting it to and thanking it and having gratitude for it for being just as it is. And I will tell you, as I stand here ranting and standing on this, what appears to be this Apple box, I don't know, with a megaphone, I encourage you to ask the question, who made these rules I'm following? And if they do not feel right for me, if I'm no longer willing to buy into the perfection fallacy, what is it that I want to do instead? What is in alignment with me? What do I want? What life path do I want to choose? And that is what this community is all about, redefining who you are, rediscovering who you are, and being able to go out there and boldly saying, this is what I am doing. I am no longer willing to accept the societal book of life. I am no longer willing to buy into this idea of perfectionism, because truly and honestly, that is like messed up. There's no such thing as perfection. There really isn't. Like I always say, even Mary Poppins herself, she was not perfect. She was practically perfect. So if Mary Poppins isn't perfect, why so do we have to be perfect? Why do we all stand here and feel like we need to be perfect when just being who you are is enough? And that is what I want to give this community, a space to know that just who you are is enough. You do not have to lose weight to be here. You do not have to put on makeup to be here. You do not have to be a hairless cat to be here. You do not have to be anything but who you are in this community, and it will continue to be that way forever. For as long as this community exists, it will continue to be that way. But I want you to start asking yourself that question: who made these rules that I'm blindly following? And am I willing to continue to minimize my own wants and needs and desires so that I can fit into a box that was not even created for me, that was created for somebody else, that might be good for some, but it's not good for me? I'm ready to bust out of this box and be my damn self. Who is ready? I am ready to be my damn self. Say it with me. I want to be my damn self. Proclaim it. It's a good thing I'm home alone because I'm shouting. But yeah, I'm feeling very passionate about this these days, and especially with the idea of perfectionism fallacy, or the fallacy of perfectionism, because it is bullshit. Let's be real. There is no such thing as perfect. And why as women do we have to be perfect? But a man can be just who he is. A man can be just who he is. And I mean, that is not to say men don't have their own struggles. They have all kinds of other struggles. The pressure to be a man, to provide, to not show their emotions. That's a whole other kettle of fish, but I am talking to an incredible community of women and people who identify as female. And we have to stand together and say, enough of this bullshit. Seriously, I'm done. I'm done. I just want to be me. And I'm not going to feel guilt or shame about that. So 9 minutes later, a dog barking, 6 missed phone calls. I bid you adieu. And please feel free to leave your comments below what you think about this, what you think about who made these rules. Who made these rules, and why do I feel like I need to blindly follow them? Let's open up a conversation, because until we start talking to one another and until we start to band together and say enough is enough, nothing can change. And if you think I'm just one person, if you add up one person and one person and one person, before you know it, we all rise together. So I'm going to get off my Apple box now, and I'm going to go eat some lunch. But please keep in mind, Friday I'm going live, talking all about what it's like to wear the mask of society and why we feel like we can't be ourselves and we have to shove a damn mask on just to survive. I'm going to be talking about that on Friday, so stay tuned for that. If you're not available, please know that there's always a replay. And with that, I hope you have the most beautiful day, and don't be afraid to be you. You are amazing just as you are, period. We'll chat soon.